There's a moment many seniors experience, but few ever talk about. You just finished your lunch, maybe grilled chicken, steamed vegetables, and a side of brown rice. You feel full, satisfied. You know it was a healthy meal, but 10 minutes later, you're in the kitchen again, opening the cabinet, reaching for that cookie or maybe a small scoop of ice cream or a bite of cake left in the fridge. And then comes the whisper, a quiet, familiar voice in your mind that says, "It's just one bite. You've been good today. You listen. You give in. You're not even hungry, but you crave something sweet, something soft, something comforting." And if you're like millions of older adults across America, this is happening more often than you'd like to admit. Here's the truth. Craving sugar after 60 isn't just about willpower. It's not about being careless or making bad choices. It's not even about being hungry. This craving is a signal, a real biological, emotional signal, that something deeper is happening inside your body. In this video, we're going to explore that signal. We'll explain why, even if you eat clean, even if you exercise, even if you try your best to stay healthy, the desire for sugar might still feel like it owns you. And it's not your fault. We'll uncover the silent changes that happen in your body after 60, the shifts in hormones, in brain chemistry, in digestion, and even in memory. We'll talk about how common medications, emotional patterns, and even foods labeled healthy might actually be making your sugar cravings worse. But we won't stop at the problem. We'll walk you through simple, powerful ways to stop this cycle, without giving up joy, without bland diets, and without fear. Because sugar doesn't have to control your life, and just because you're older doesn't mean you have to settle for less energy, less clarity, or less control. So grab a seat, take a breath. This might be the moment everything changes. You might not have noticed it at first, but over the years, the food you used to love just doesn't taste the same anymore. The flavors feel muted, the excitement is gone, and somehow sweet things, cookies, chocolate, ice cream, they still taste strong, still comforting. This isn't your imagination. It's a natural part of aging. After the age of 60, your taste buds begin to change, and not in your favor. Here's what's happening. Your tongue is covered in tiny receptors called taste buds. They're responsible for detecting sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. When we're young, we have over 10,000 of them, but as we age, that number begins to decline. Slowly at first, then more noticeably after 60. But that's not all. The remaining taste buds don't regenerate as quickly. They become less sensitive. They don't respond to flavors with the same intensity as before. You may start adding more salt to your meals or reaching for more sugar just to feel the taste again. To make matters worse, our sense of smell also fades with age, and since smell is a big part of how we taste food, everything begins to feel a little dull, a little less exciting. So what does the brain do? It compensates. It says, give me something I can really feel, and sweet foods, sugar-packed, flavor-heavy, become the go-to. This is one of the hidden reasons so many seniors develop a stronger sweet tooth. It's not a lack of control, it's biology. It's your body trying to feel pleasure, and sugar is one of the last remaining sources that still triggers that reward. Clearly, but this has consequences. Because the more sugar you use to stimulate your taste buds, the more those buds become desensitized. Over time, you may need even more sugar to feel the same effect, and that's how the cycle deepens. But don't worry, there are ways to awaken your taste again. In the next section, we'll explore what's really happening with your hormones after 60 and how they secretly drive your cravings even further. What if I told you that your hormones, the silent messengers inside your body, are playing a big role in your sugar cravings? Even if you eat well, even if you stay active. After the age of 60, the hormonal landscape inside your body begins to shift, and those changes can quietly push you toward sugar. Let's start with insulin, the hormone that regulates blood sugar. As we age, many people develop something called insulin resistance. That means your body still makes insulin, but your cells don't respond to it as effectively. The result? Sugar lingers in your bloodstream longer, and your body doesn't get the energy it needs fast enough. So your brain sends a signal, eat more sugar. It's trying to fix the problem the only way it knows how. Now add cortisol into the mix, your stress hormone. When cortisol is elevated, especially in chronic low-grade stress, it increases your appetite, and not for broccoli or chicken. It drives you to seek high-carb, high-sugar comfort foods. And guess what? As we age, our cortisol levels often become harder to control. Even mild stress, like disrupted sleep or loneliness, can cause cortisol to spike and stay high for hours. And then there's leptin, the hormone that tells your brain, "I'm full." Leptin levels can become dysregulated as we get older, especially if we've carried excess weight or inflammation for years. When leptin doesn't work properly, your brain doesn't get the message to stop eating. You might feel hungry, even when your stomach is full, and sugar becomes the fastest way to silence that confusion. Finally, let's not forget about ghrelin, the hunger hormone. It often rises when sleep is poor, which is a common issue for seniors. High ghrelin levels make you crave fast energy, and sugar fits that bill perfectly. These hormonal imbalances don't make you weak. They make you human, and they're part of the reason why cravings can feel so powerful and so hard to resist. But now that you understand the biology behind the craving, you're one step closer to controlling it. Coming up next, we'll explore how sugar affects your brain and why it keeps coming back for more. Your brain is one of the most powerful organs in your body. It controls your thoughts, your emotions, your decisions, and yes, even your cravings, especially your cravings. After 60, the way your brain responds to sugar changes, and that change makes the craving feel deeper, stronger, and harder to break. Let's talk about dopamine. It's a chemical your brain releases when you experience something pleasurable. A hug, a laugh, a warm memory, and yes, sugar. When you eat something sweet, your brain releases dopamine, and you feel good, not just in your mouth, but deep inside your mind. Here's the problem. As we age, the brain becomes less sensitive to dopamine. The reward doesn't feel as strong as it used to, so the brain does what it always does. It looks for more. It says, "That piece of chocolate was nice, but let's have 2 next time," and the craving grows. Over time, this cycle becomes a loop. Eat sugar, feel the dopamine, need more to feel the same effect. This is exactly how addiction works. In fact, studies have shown that sugar lights up the same reward centers in the brain as cocaine. Yes, sugar, that innocent-looking cookie, that spoonful of syrup, that bite of cake. It's not just food, it's stimulation. And for seniors, there's another twist. The prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that helps with self-control, tends to shrink slightly with age. That means the brakes on your cravings aren't as strong as they used to be. So while your brain is shouting, "I want it," your ability to whisper no becomes weaker. But don't be discouraged. You're not powerless. You just need a new map, a way to give your brain the reward it seeks without falling into the sugar trap. And the first step is recognizing that your craving isn't just in your stomach, it's in your head. Up next, we look at how emotions and memories, especially the ones rooted deep in your past, can quietly fuel your desire for sweets. Sometimes, a craving isn't about hunger at all. It's about memory, it's about comfort, it's about something deeper that food can't fix, but often tries to. Think back to your childhood. Maybe you remember your grandmother's kitchen filled with the smell of cinnamon rolls, or your father bringing home candy after a long day, or ice cream on a summer evening after church. These moments stay with us, not just in our minds, but in our bodies. As we age, our emotional ties to the past often grow stronger. Life slows down. We lose people we love. We face more quiet moments, more reflection. And in that stillness, old emotions rise. Sometimes joy, sometimes loneliness, sometimes a deep longing for connection. And that's when the craving hits, not for nutrients, not for fuel, but for a feeling, a memory, a moment that made us feel safe, happy, loved. This is what makes sugar so powerful. It's not just sweet, it's emotional. It reminds us of better times. It gives us a sense of control, even for a few minutes, and that makes it incredibly hard to resist. For many seniors, eating sweets becomes a coping mechanism, a way to deal with grief, with boredom, with stress, with the feeling that life has become a little less vibrant, and since sugar triggers pleasure in the brain quickly, it feels like it works. But the relief is temporary, and over time, that temporary comfort comes at a cost to your energy, your clarity, your health. The good news is, once you understand this emotional loop, you can change it. You can find new ways to reconnect with joy, with memory, with meaning, ways that don't come wrapped in plastic or packed with calories. Next, we'll explore a surprising trigger behind senior sugar cravings, one that's sitting quietly in your medicine cabinet. There's something else that might be fueling your sugar cravings, and it's not in your diet. It's in your medicine cabinet. Most older adults take at least one prescription medication. Many take several, and while these medications may be necessary for blood pressure, cholesterol, depression, or pain, They can also have unexpected side effects. One of the most common? They change the way food tastes. Let's start with blood pressure medications. Certain types, like ACE inhibitors or calcium channel blockers, can alter your sense of taste. Some make food taste bitter or metallic. Others dull your taste buds entirely. When food doesn't taste right, you're more likely to reach for something strong, something sweet. Next, statins, the drugs used to lower cholesterol. These can also change your taste perception and make it harder to enjoy the foods you used to love. Over time, you may find yourself adding more sugar just to bring the flavor back. Then there are antidepressants. These medications affect brain chemistry, especially the balance of serotonin and dopamine. While they can improve mood, they may also increase appetite and lower impulse control, both of which can lead to stronger cravings for sugary foods. Pain medications, especially opioids, can interfere with both your appetite and your digestive system. They may reduce your desire for normal meals while amplifying your desire for comfort foods that go down easy, like cookies, pudding, or chocolate. Even over-the-counter drugs like antihistamines or cold medicines can cause dry mouth, and dry mouth often leads people to reach for sugary drinks or mints without even realizing it. None of this means you should stop taking your medications, but it does mean you should be aware. If you've noticed an increase in sugar cravings since starting a new medication, talk to your doctor. There may be alternatives, or simple strategies to help you manage the side effects. Coming up next, we'll reveal one of the most dangerous sugar traps for older adults, the hidden sugar hiding inside foods that are marketed as healthy. You're doing your best. You shop carefully, you read labels, you avoid candy, soda, and obvious junk food, but somehow the cravings are still there and your blood sugar is still high. What's going on? The answer may surprise you. It's not just the sweets, it's the foods that pretend to be healthy. Let's start with yogurt. A small cup of fruit-flavored yogurt can contain as much sugar as a candy bar, sometimes 20 grams or more. Granola? Same story. That crunchy topping you sprinkle on your oatmeal may be sweetened with honey, brown sugar, or syrup. Even a so-called low-fat muffin can pack in more sugar than a slice of cake. And don't be fooled by the labels. Terms like all-natural, low-fat, or organic don't mean sugar-free. In fact, when manufacturers remove fat from a product, they often add sugar to make it taste good. That's how you end up with healthy cereals that spike your blood sugar just as fast as a donut. Even dried fruits, raisins, dates, cranberries, seem like a smart choice, but they're concentrated sources of sugar. One small handful of raisins can have the same sugar as a can of soda. That's because removing water from fruit concentrates the natural sugar into every bite. Then there are smoothies, fresh fruit, almond milk, maybe some spinach. Sounds perfect, right? But depending on what's inside, one smoothie can contain 30, 40, even 60 grams of sugar. That's more than most seniors need in an entire day. And let's not forget sauces, ketchup, barbecue sauce, salad dressings, even marinades. Many contain hidden sugar. You're not tasting it directly, but it's there, slowly adding up bite by bite. These hidden sugars confuse your body. They keep insulin levels elevated. They disrupt your hunger signals, and they fuel the exact cravings you've been trying to escape. But here's the good news. Once you know where sugar hides, you can outsmart it. You don't have to live in fear. You just have to read labels, ask questions, and make simple swaps that protect your health. In the next section, we'll look at how sugar affects your body in ways you can feel every day, especially your energy, your focus, and your strength. You might think sugar gives you energy. After all, it's what many people reach for when they feel tired or sluggish. But the truth is, sugar may be stealing your energy, not giving it. Here's how it works. When you eat something sugary, even just a small cookie or a sweetened drink, your blood sugar rises quickly. You get a short burst of energy. You might feel more awake, more alive for a few minutes. But then comes the crash. Your body releases a surge of insulin to pull that sugar out of your blood. And when that sugar drops too fast, you feel worse than before. Tired, irritable, foggy. Your brain slows down, your muscles feel heavy, and your craving returns, not because you need food, but because your body is trying to fix the crash. This cycle is even harder on older adults. After 60, your body becomes more sensitive to these ups and downs. Your cells don't respond to insulin as quickly. Your blood sugar takes longer to return to normal. That means the crashes last longer, and the fatigue feels deeper. But it's not just energy. Sugar also affects your brain. High blood sugar has been linked to memory loss, slower reaction time, and even a higher risk of dementia. When your brain is inflamed from too much sugar, you may feel confused more easily, struggle to find words, forget where you put things. And there's your muscles. Sugar promotes inflammation throughout the body, and chronic inflammation makes it harder to maintain strength. It damages tissues, weakens joints, and interferes with muscle recovery. That's why too much sugar can make you feel stiff in the morning, sore after walking, and slower to get up from a chair. Even your immune system suffers. Sugar suppresses white blood cell activity, which means your body becomes less effective at fighting off infections. Over time, you may find yourself getting sick more often and healing more slowly. But there's hope. Because the same way sugar drags you down, removing it can lift you up. In the next section, we'll show you natural, simple ways to reduce sugar cravings and rebuild your energy, clarity, and strength from the inside out. Now that you understand what's really driving your sugar cravings, let's talk about how to stop them, not with extreme diets, not with pills or punishments, but with simple, natural choices that actually work, especially for people over 60. First, eat more fat. Yes, fat. Healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, nuts, and fatty fish give your body slow-burning energy. They keep your blood sugar stable and reduce the sudden crashes that lead to cravings. When your body feels nourished, your brain doesn't scream for sugar. Second, focus on protein. Protein doesn't spike your blood sugar. It fills you up. It feeds your muscles, and it sends powerful signals to your brain that say, "I'm satisfied." Try adding eggs, Greek yogurt, beans, or lean meats to each meal. Even small amounts make a big difference. Third, add fiber. Fiber slows the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. It keeps your gut healthy, and it helps you feel full longer. Vegetables, berries, chia seeds, oats, and flaxseed are excellent sources. Plus, they support digestion, something that matters even more with age. Fourth, drink more water. Many seniors confuse thirst with hunger. If you're feeling a craving, try drinking a full glass of water and wait 10 minutes. You might find the craving fades on its own. And staying hydrated helps your cells process sugar more efficiently. Fifth, don't skip meals. Skipping meals, especially breakfast, causes your blood sugar to drop, and when it drops, your body goes into survival mode. That's when cravings hit hard. Try to eat every 4 to 5 hours. Include protein and fat. Avoid starting your day with sweet foods. That sets the tone for cravings all day long. Sixth, manage stress. Sugar is a comfort for a stressed mind. Try replacing stress eating with a walk, deep breathing, music, or calling someone you trust. A calm brain is less likely to chase quick sugar highs. Seventh, support your gut. Your gut bacteria influence your cravings, and when your gut is filled with sugar-loving microbes, it will demand sugar to keep them alive. Add probiotic foods like kimchi, sauerkraut, or plain yogurt. These help restore balance and reduce the chemical signals that lead to cravings. Finally, be kind to yourself. You're not fighting a lack of discipline. You're working with a body that's doing its best. One change at a time is enough. Progress, not perfection. Coming up next, we'll bring everything together and show you how to rebuild a new relationship with sweetness. One that supports your health, your joy, and your independence. You've learned a lot. You've seen how sugar cravings after 60 are not just about habits. They're about biology, memory, hormones, and emotion. You've seen how taste changes, how your brain rewires itself, how certain medications and hidden sugars create a cycle that's hard to break. But here's the good news. You don't have to fear sugar, and you don't have to give up joy to be healthy. It starts with awareness. When you know what's happening inside your body, you can make better choices. You don't need perfection, you just need clarity. You need small steps taken consistently. It could be as simple as starting your day with a protein-rich breakfast instead of a muffin, swapping soda for sparkling water with lemon, adding avocado to your salad, reading the label before you buy that yogurt, or just pausing, truly pausing, before you reach for that cookie and asking, what am I really craving? Maybe it's not food. Maybe it's connection, comfort, energy, or simply a moment of peace. And maybe, just maybe, you can find that in a way that truly serves your body. Sweetness doesn't have to come from sugar. It can come from movement, from nature, from music, from a memory that lifts your heart, or from sharing what you've learned with someone you love. So here's your challenge. Start a 7-day sugar reset. Nothing extreme, no shame, just focus on real food, on stability, on listening to what your body truly needs. Take it one meal at a time, one craving at a time, one win at a time. And if this video helped you understand your cravings in a new way, please share it, comment below with your experience, and subscribe to our channel so we can keep bringing you science-backed, age-smart content like this. Because you deserve to feel strong, clear, energized, in control. You've made it this far in life, and now it's time to take back your power from sugar and choose sweetness on your own terms.